Alright guys, TacticalRab again today. Hope you're all doing well and enjoying your day so far. An early Christmas present potentially here from Drazah with some more cheating drama it seems going down. A 2500 tournament concludes. Drazah's team wins in the end after going down in the series though to a player they thought was rather dodgy indeed. Requested a monitor cam to come through, then that player in question, his performance is dramatically declined. Is this just a coincidence? Is there anything in this? But especially when this player has a fair bit of history with Jimbo, the famous cheater that was bad at last year's Challengers World Championship. Very much intrigued to your thoughts in the comment section below. Hit the like button if you enjoy. Subscribe if you're new as always. I would greatly appreciate it. Firstly, I also have to share this clip for you guys because it's just too funny, really. It's on CoD Mobile, the World Championship. Kenny was watching some of the classic CoD listen-ins, and this is one of the funniest ones ever. So this is like a 3-year-old clip maybe now. Here we are on firing range domination or whatever. I don't know if the comms in this listening are actually legit. I know there was talk at the time that this listening must have been, somehow it was a production error where you could hear the comms of both teams at the same time. I don't know. If you guys haven't seen this clip before, it is hilarious. But Kenny was watching it and I just find Kenny so funny. Like the way that he makes this joke and he just finds himself really funny. So he plays it through and I mean, look, what he's talking about here with these CoD Mobile players kind of raging at their phones maybe isn't too dramatically different to actual, CoD players in the regular CDL holding their controllers and not being so happy about things. But for all the talk about the CoD Mobile stuff, there is a lot of things this game gets right. Certainly the map set is one of them. And even Kenny was like, damn, that guy was snaking right there. So apparently that's even a possibility on this game as well. But let's talk about this whole cheating stuff. So every so often, there's always a cheating conversation that goes around. Drazah was looking for Charles. We know this guy has been grinding absolutely everything, right? He can't get himself a Call of Duty. I know that many players are, okay, they'll go home for Christmas, they'll go home to family, and, they'll chill out for a few days. Not Drazah, absolutely not. Get him in these tournaments, money 8, like whatever it takes, basically. Drazah's going to be playing, especially when Drazah knows his search and destroy right now, maybe surprisingly so, isn't quite where it needs to be. I think he has a 0.55 in search and destroy so far. FaZe have still done, on average, very well in that game mode. They've won most of the maps they've played. But, of course, there is going to be an element when, sure, Drazah was great, especially in Search last year on Thieves, but you now play with Simp, aBeZy, and Cellium. Your numbers aren't going to be the same, it's how it naturally is. But Drazah was definitely intended for this FaZe team, given the fact that Slasher, we know he's a great Search and Destroy player. FaZe had that ridiculous win streak last year in Search and Destroy when they won their championship at Boston's Major 2. So Drazah needs, coming in instead of Slasher, to still be an absolute force in Search and Destroy. That hasn't really been the case so far this season, but it's early days, it's fine. And to be fair, their next 3 matches are definitely very winnable. And then their final match they play at the end of January, just before the Major, is against OpTic. So that's going to be a big test, of course, for both teams. But knowing that Drazah needs to step up his search, he's been grinding a lot of search and destroy shells and stuff like this, and he's always going to do that anyway, but he's probably been putting in especially, more time just to sharpen the tools, I suppose, in that game mode. So, shells, tourneys, whatever it takes. Now, as we can see here, we actually saw it in the more tweet section or whatever, they played this tournament, and they got to the final, so he's playing with Purge, of course, player for the Vegas Legion, Tupac, who's FaZe's search and destroy guy, basically, long time, one of the best search and destroy players ever, basically. Never been a pro, but it's definitely pro level when it comes to search and destroy. And then Bint, who was joining them along. Now, the finals was against Mohawk, Yeez, Geo, and this 0-4 kid who's been going around for some time. So this was the finals. They played the finals, and eventually Drazah's team gets the victory. But that doesn't tell the full story of the situation. There were a few replies here that were kind of getting this across. So I went down to the wire, and this was an interesting post on Reddit that kind of explained the story behind it. So I went through and I found as many clips as I possibly can, sub to Tupac stream so I can watch his VOD back and all this stuff to try and get the clips irrelevant to this, and I'll show some screenshots to this one as well. But yeah, so this is as necessary Reed points out to on the Reddit. Now, we don't know if this guy's cheating or not, but this was the story behind what happened during the grand finals of the tournament. So, finals of this 2.5k S&D tournament, his whole team was convinced that Geo was cheating after Team Drazah went down 1-2, and Geo dropped 14 kills for the W on the high rise, we'll see here in a second. Turns out, so in these tournaments, it's usually mandated, as it was required, it seems in this one, to stream your point of view. Maybe some players don't do it because they don't want to, and you can kind of get away with it. But generally speaking, the rule is, because we're on PC, cheating is very possible, unfortunately. So the tournament organizers generally say, okay, everyone has to stream their point of view, so, we can see if you're cheating or not, basically, or at least, make some attempt to try, so that if someone was to try and cheat, it becomes somewhat more difficult. So this was required in the rules. He wasn't doing so, this Geo guy, so then he was forced to do so, which then took some time to set up. So this is when the questions are being raised, and maybe there was, nothing to it at all, and more than likely, I think there was nothing to this story, but it's definitely very interesting, to say the very least. So he then turns the stream on. They had to have a break, basically, while he turned the stream, because it took quite some time, and it ended up with him on a burner that none of us could see except the CoD agent admins. Excuse after excuse was preventing him from streaming, despite having streamed in the past. So you can clearly see, like, what this guy writing the Reddit post thinks, but he guys might disagree. Geo's team also muted and deafened their streams during this whole process. So again, kind of interesting. Geo then, after this concluded, they then went on to play the remainder of the series, and Geo went from dropping 14 kills on the high rise, then dropping 5 on map 4, and then had 1 kill on the final map, and Drazah won the tournament 3-2. And, he was apparently frying before that was the case. Apparently Skyz and some other top AMs were in the chat agreeing that there might have been something dodgy going on here. And then, of course, the dagger in some ways is the fact that this guy has history with Jimbo, the player that was famous for getting banned at the World Championships of Challenges at last year's champs. So, he teamed with them actually at that event. Geo was a teammate of Jimbo at the event they got DQ'd at. Now, there might be nothing in this, but, it's definitely a few elements that make you think. Now, sure, there's no clips, and there's no, like, suspect clips here or anything necessarily to go through. So obviously you want to go for the innocent until proven guilty route, but maybe Drazah has a different opinion of this. So despite this, no action with Geo, he'll continue to play online challenges. Maybe he should be forced to monitor cam, or like at any online event or something, so hopefully that matters. So, he drops the TLDR, top am is most likely cheating due to sus circumstances, then crumbled after Drazah forced to stream. Nothing will be done. Now, you never really know, and honestly, after let's say you've gone through all this drama, people are watching it, put the monitor cam on, there's extra pressure there, maybe you won't perform the same way. I think that it's, you can't necessarily say, okay, he fries pre-monitor cam, and then he got slammed post-monitor cam, therefore he's cheating, but it does obviously not send the right impression. For example, this was the map in question, really, where Geo here in the finals drops 14 in 4. Mohawk has 0 kills. He went 0 in 8 for the win here. So O4 and Yeez have 7 each. So, Geo went 14 in 4 to win the high-rise search 6-3. Drazah then said to 2 back right. I'm not convinced that this guy's legit. Tell him to put the monitor cam on. They went through the process, that eventually happens, and then the series, rather shortly afterwards, ended with an absolute slammage on the invasion search and destroy 6-1. Geo drops 1 kill. So, there's obviously going to be a natural swings and roundabouts in terms of performance. You can go from dropping 12 kills one map and 0 the next if you have a bit of a stinker. Just maybe you don't like the map so much or whatever. But still, it doesn't necessarily send the right message. So I'll share the clip here from Tupac's point of view, where they play out this final rounds. Geo drops 14, and then Drazah says, look, I'm not convinced this guy's legit. The rest of the team seem to agree, and potentially others as well. Monitor cam goes on, and then we know the rest.
I'm slowing right. I got needed from the front paint. The front paint hit me. I can't tell right.
One guy deep left. One guy deep left.
Hey, he's gonna hop up on me. I'm in the side corner. He's stunned and hit me. Look at him. Shit, small. He's on me. One guard. You're good? Help him. I hear V-Street constantly. Top heli. How bad is it?
Yeah, go on.
Top heli, one shot. One bullet. He's there side a shack.
One shot.
I got the guy beat. I'm weak on me. Oh, it's on me. Dude, I didn't even see him pop back up. Good try.
Got like so many free kills, how they like the whole map, to be honest.
We're chilling.
You just kept picking us on both sides in the same spot really every round.
He's me there? I might need this kind of fucking cam.
Yeah.
Yo, Gio, put that cam on, brother. I don't know if
Don't work.
I knew. Wait, Mo went 0 and 8 and 1? Oh my god.
Yeah, I need a cam
Yeah,
quick. Someone say, yo, Draw says we need a cam. ASAP. My mic worked outside.
Jaws wants Gio to cam.
Tell him super cam.
He wants him to super cam.
I don't know.
I don't know. I think we said
5.
Wait, Zach, you said 8 and I said 6. He didn't mean either one. Like, I don't know.
He just, it's weird. It's like he wasn't pushing through the lane and shooting me in the side right here.
Looks like he was.
It's like on high rise he was.
360.
Yeah, high rise he was running through the lane with numbers.
What map we got? Invasion, right? Oh, you guys are
Yeah.
fucked.
I think
You guys are
it's
fucked.
Bro, I could. Hold on, bro, because I could just imagine him like this. One shot, dead. One shot. One shot, bro. Oh my god, bro. Yo. Oh, he got snaked. They snaking?
So Gio, of course, comes out on Twitter after this and says he got PC checked by the COD agent guys that were running the tournament. It was totally clear. I have consistent top placings at majors each year since I competed, but I have to deal with a toxic community trying to discredit my performance of how good I am and have accused me of cheating for the last 3 years in a row. It's straight up criminal. Now, again, the issue is, right, the reason why people will put Gio in this category is because of the history of playing with, well, as he says here, Lau, which was, you know, formerly Jimbo. He did play with Jimbo during this famous instant, right? And he played with Jimbo for quite a long time. And it's difficult to say whether the players that teamed with Jimbo knew that he was hacking. The belief is that he was wall hacking online, and then when they got to LAN, he obviously wasn't hacking. We don't think he was actually cheating on LAN, but we're pretty sure that he therefore got banned because he was cheating online, and therefore during the tournament they did a ban wave that hit him on his account, even though at that time he was competing on LAN. So look, still Jimbo, let's not forget, this guy was in the Pro League. He was playing for Paris Legion during the Vanguard year. So yes, he cheated online and got banned as a result, but he was playing in the Pro Leagues. Like, these guys are good players, but they decide to cheat to try and, I suppose, get to the next level. But they can still place quite well on LAN, even with the cheats off, I suppose. So just to have a look at some of these tournaments here that Gio's played over the last few years, he's going back, I mean, he used to go by Y-Eat or something, which is, I mean, I'm glad he changed that. So this is back at the Cold War days, this is Vanguard, and, you know, then he goes back to his other gamer tag, I don't know. But during Modern Warfare 2, this is now where Gio starts teaming with Lau, who was obviously formerly known as Jimbo, and then he, you know, goes back between Jimbo and Lau a couple of times. He goes, now he goes. So yeah, the start of this most recent season, 2023, Gio's playing with these guys, Gwyn and Wardy and Lau and Gravity and these guys, and then we saw him obviously celebrating that Challengers Cup victory with playing with Lau at the time that then became Jimbo. Likely that Challengers Cup victory was artificially enhanced, shall we say, by some other activities. But let's be honest here, classic, right? Legendary COD player, current FaZe substitute. He was playing with Jimbo, and he didn't necessarily know what the situation was. He thought that Jimbo was just godlike, you know, he didn't know that Jimbo was hacking. Now, obviously you can raise the question as to whether you think that the players did have any idea that Jimbo was, as I say, being artificially enhanced, especially online. And then this is the Challengers Finals, where they then get disqualified because Jimbo was cheating, basically. So this is where people are going to wonder, because Gio was playing with Jimbo for some time, played with him for the majority of the season. Maybe Jimbo was doing something there, and it's difficult, right? Because if you're a Challengers player, let's say you're like Jimbo, he was in the Pro League in Vanguard, he drops back down to Challengers, and clearly nobody should be cheating and deservedly blacklisted from the scene at this point. But if you're a Challengers player that's been down there for years and you're not getting your chance in the Pro League, really, or you did get your chance and now it's not going to be there anymore and you're trying to grind your way up, there is clearly an incentive to, well, you know, if I just turned on the walls in the round 11 of this match, then I'd look better, maybe I'd get picked up by the league. And to be fair, once you get to the league, you know, Jimbo was okay in the league. He wasn't great. I mean, he was playing from Canada or whatever, and you know, the connections and everything was a bit of a nightmare. But he still kind of held his own on what was a terrible Paris Legion team. He wasn't good, but you know, he was okay, even without the cheats. So I think you can kind of see why there is an incentive for these guys to do so. Now, on this case, there is basically no evidence that this is actually true. It's just kind of like hearsay, but it's definitely an interesting one to think about. That you know, how many players, because there are other players for sure that are cheating in challenges. Like, I'm convinced it's got to be the case, but you know, which ones get caught, which ones are, which ones aren't, those are questions that we really don't have the answers to. But very much interested to your thoughts in the comment section below. Hit the like button if you enjoyed, subscribe if you're new, take care, and I'll see you next time.